Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 101 of the Watch Rolling Podcast. The Watch Rolling Podcast is a veteran-owned podcast that focuses on horology while sharing valuable resources with the watch enthusiast community. My name is Jason. I'm your host. If you're new to the pod, welcome. And if you're returning, welcome back. Episode 101, the influence chain. And what is it, and what does it mean to me, and how it shapes us as watch enthusiasts? So you got to ask yourself some questions while we're going into this. I just want you to ask yourself, what do you allow to influence you? And just hold on to that question as we talk about the show. So influence is everywhere. It's the invisible force that shapes our decisions, our preferences, and even, how we interact with the world, right? Because sometimes people influence each other and it leads to, things they eat, things they do, stuff they listen to, even how they interact with certain people. It's crazy, but it does happen. I don't think we ask ourselves enough what exactly is influence and and especially how does an influence chain work? And then how does it affect us as watch enthusiasts? I mean, you could talk about it for whatever else you want to talk about it, but we're here to talk about it for watches. So let's just break it down. What is influence? Influence is the capacity to have an effect on someone's character, their development, or their behavior. Everything we do is influenced by something, right? Like I had some spicy food a little bit earlier and I did some cardio and I'm still a little bit warm, right? So like the effect is I'm kind of like low level sweat. I was influenced. I guess I was influenced by, the spicy food or whatever, but it's the capacity to do all that stuff. So for us, everything we do is influenced by something. So for us as watch enthusiasts, it can be the brands we love, the hobbies we dive into, or the way we approach challenges. Right? It all starts with external impact. And it's apparent that happens, right? Because you see sometimes how people handle stress. Not everybody handles stress the same. Some people have had external influences to work on that, and some people haven't. So it might be the first time they're dealing with stress, and everybody does things slightly differently. But influence can take many forms. It can take the form of a power figure, an authority figure, guidance, or even some subtle pressure. And you got to ask yourself which one works best for you, because not everybody responds to that the same way. So different external influences can help you be influenced, but it's got to be one that you're willing to accept as well. So in the watch community, influence is a major factor from the first time we see a timepiece on someone's wrist to the review shaping our decisions. We are constantly part of an influence chain. But what is the influence chain really? And how does it work? Well, the influence chain starts with an idea or an action, spreads to others, and continues to ripple outward. So let's just break it down step by step. A watch brand releases a new model. We all see this, right? And if you pay attention, and especially if you're a newer watch enthusiast, really pay attention because this one model starts popping up on all the videos. Now, the cool thing about that is that you might like a certain, reviewer or an influencer or a social media person, and you like the way they deliver their content. The way they deliver their content is the way that you like to digest it. So that I think it's a good thing that they're coming out, that one model's coming out across multiple channels because they're reaching, as many people as possible, and you'll be able to learn about the way you want to. So that watch brand releases a new model, an enthusiast or reviewer we just talked about shares their thoughts. Now you as a collector, as an enthusiast, you see that review and you start considering the watch and maybe even you buy it. That's the big step. So now you as the enthusiast / collector who has purchased that model, you share your experience online or at an event like Windup. And I know sometimes I do it, hop on Instagram, do a wrist roll. Speaking of wrist roll, on the wrist, I have my Grand Seiko SPGA 231 titanium. Oh, so nice, 137 grams. But we share our feelings about the new piece online or at an event like Windup or a watch enthusiast meetup. And I think that's important, and we'll touch on that later. But suddenly the watch gains a reputation, influence even more people, right? Because as it spreads out, as it ripples outwards, a bunch of different people are being exposed to it. I just say, think of the moon swatch, and we'll touch on that again in a second. But here's the real question. Does the watch gain its reputation on merit or on the influence of the brand over influencers / social media people, whatever you want to call them? So is it getting merit based off of whatever you determine the merit to be based off of? Or is it getting merit because someone's telling you, because the brand's hooking them up or whatever, that the piece should have some merit? And are we seeing organic enthusiasm for a great timepiece? Or is the reputation being manufactured through marketing, partnerships, and brand influence? Is the merit of a watch something that can be purchased, or does it have to be earned? And then how does a watch earn merit with you? How does a brand earn merit with you? Is it based off the movement? Is it based off craftsmanship? Is it based off value for money? Is it based off brand lineup? Do they offer you a bunch of different stuff? Is it based off customer service? Is it based off personal relationships? I know tons of people who really enjoy small independent brands and micro brands because they're able to talk to the owners and have a relationship with the brand. And that to them is almost more important than the watch itself. But ask yourself, are they using influence the right way? And this is a question I've asked myself. I mean, influence isn't just about watches, it's about how we interact with the world. Are we using our influence to build up others, spread knowledge, and support the craft? Or are we letting it become a source of pressure and competition? And that's a very real thing because, you know, I mean, obviously I have a podcast, you're watching and listening to it, but for me, it turned into, and I think you've noticed it since episode like 98 or 99, that I just want to talk about the things that I find interesting in the hobby, right? In the space. Now I still do reviews. I have a watch coming in for review and I'm excited to do it. But I just want to talk about the things I want to talk about. I don't want to be competitive. I don't want to, go after other enthusiasts that have channels or speak badly about anybody or even like be super dramatical over a watch because at the end of the day it's a special thing to me, but it's an inanimate object. And if this is something I enjoy and this is something I find happiness and peace in, then that's what I want to share with you. And that's the only way I'd want to influence you. Unless you think that I like really have good taste in watches. And, I also want to have the reputation I'm not going to BS you when it comes to a watch. I'm not going to tell you a watch is good if it's not. I can be positive in a review and still be critical at the same time. So for me, my choice would be I want to control my influence by being a positive force in the hobby, giving it to you straight when it comes to reviews, and then just not causing anybody any problems. That's the way I want to do it because we control our influence. Every time we engage in a discussion, support a brand, or post a wrist shot, we contribute to the influence chain. The key is to stay aware uh, that we're being influenced, or are we making choices based on our own experiences? Something for us to consider. I know for me, it's something I talk about all the time, and I listen to myself, and I think about it because to me, it's just like, man, is that something I really like? And the more I've asked myself this question recently, the smaller my watch collection has gotten. I'm almost down to three pieces, three what I call stalwart pieces, and some Seikos. And to me, the Seikos I can push them and shove them. They can I got a couple for fun, but they can also be traded in on something or sold 5 cents on the dollar or something and get myself something else. Because to me, I'm just starting to get enough knowledge now to where if I see something that I like, I ask myself how much I really like it. And do I like it because it has elements of something else that I A already have and B don't really need. And it's been a difficult discussion with myself, but it's been pretty good, because at the end of the day, how many black dive watches do I really need? And I talked about last episode where I have a Marine Master 300. It's kind of redundant with my Grand Seiko SPGA 231. So I've been having difficult discussions with myself. So I think the more knowledge I get, the more I'm able to fight off some of that influence on like, hey, this is the newest thing. Hey, go get it. Hey, this is cool. I would ask that the question is that you ask yourself, how are you influenced? Or do you influence others? I think all of us, even as just enthusiasts with an Instagram feed, we have more influence than we think. And I think it's really, really important to mind and take care of how we influence others, right? Most importantly, ourselves, because I think we're probably the biggest influence ourselves. Understand how we get influenced and basically control it. So the key is to stay aware. Just stay aware of what's going on. Are we making choice based on our own experiences or what someone else tells us? And next time you're watching a review, scrolling through a forum or chatting with a fellow collector, think about the influence chain. What influence your choices and how are you influencing others? And I think when you get to that point, I think things slow down a little bit and you need less and you you want more experience with your watch and less influence from other people on the outside. And remember, at watchrolling.com, you make the watch. The watch doesn't make you.